Right, we're on. That gets boring anyway. But morning. It is Friday morning. It is Friday, the 5th of March, 10:30 a.m. This is Coffee with Ant and Joella. And
good morning, John Fuggles. Hello.
So let me just clarify, chaps. So normally this was Ant and John. Ant and Joe, sorry. Anthony was ill for a couple of weeks. Ill, like no one else has been ill before. Still battling his way through it. And John kindly stepped into the hot seat, the comfortable hot seat. I've liked to feel like I've created a Homer Simpson dip in the couch, and that is where we are. And him, John and Joella carrying on without me. And I thought, you know what? 2's great. 3's not a crowd.
Depends. Let's not get into
that. Perfect. Well, welcome anyway. So like I said, guys, we're live here. It is the coffee, which we like to do 15, 20 minutes of a catch up. We talk about visibility and branding. I am joined with the wonderful Joella. Joella, how are you?
I'm very good, Anthony. Glad to see you back.
Was that like a pause? Was that like a casual pause or just a cool pause? Or
I've been getting notices that there might be some issues. So, hey.
Yeah, just try to stare, smile and wave. Dramatic pause. So Joella, talk to us about yourself. So the people that haven't seen you, don't know you or what you do. Have you had your hair cut?
Okay, yeah. No, but it needs a good cut. Actually, it's just getting in my face. I'm Joella Bruckshaw. I'm an executive coach. I work with senior leaders, especially CEO and board chairs, and to help them get better business results, basically. But usually organizing the stuff that's in their heads. Yeah, and happy to be here. Great to see you too.
Fantastic. And John, Mr. Fuggles, please enlighten us on you and your experiences.
So I run a consultancy company. We advise companies, corporates that how to expand, develop and grow their business, become more profitable, acquire the right kind of best customers. But we're really about the strategy end of how you do that rather than the delivery end of doing it.
Fantastic.
And I work with Joella and I work with you, which is cool.
Marvelous. And I do enjoy this. And I think, you know what, I think this is like our standard 10:30 every Friday morning. We do this. It's a coffee, it's a catch up. This started, the child of this came from obviously John. Well, not obviously, but John, through his business Mission 23, introduced me to Joella. We just hit it off. Her innuendos are outstanding. Her husband at some point will rock in with just a loincloth on, bringing cherries and a big
he's
fan.
Already big, Anthony.
Yeah. And I, you know, like what John and I do on Seedcast and on the daily bakes and stuff, I think it's quite interesting to just to catch up and just have a chat really live. And we discussed visibility, or something that Joella brought to my attention a while ago was about visibility and how people see themselves, not just to their businesses, but how they see themselves to their marketplace. And we're in a very, very interesting time. The budget was just released, and we won't talk about that because we'll look at that Seedcast on Tuesday. But you know, things are changing quite drastically. You know, I saw quite a good picture, and it had some guy standing there, and it was from the In-Betweeners, and he's standing there and he's looking bemused, and he says, you know, the furlough scheme is extended till September, but the world is going to be back to normal by June. And he was just going, that doesn't make sense. You know, I think that the world is going to change quite dramatically, right?
Well, it has. It already has changed. I mean, it's kind of what we end up with is somewhere between where we were and definitely where we are. You know, you can make a lot of money if you guess that bit right.
You know what's talking about that, actually, I remember a few years ago, or when we started talking about Brexit and those stupid Brexit buses driving around, Brexit buses, I had banks ringing me and going, Anthony, I need a Brexit specialist. And I remember speaking to somebody and calling them and going, would you mind if I put you forward as a Brexit specialist? And they were like, what the hell does that mean? I was like, well, nobody knows, so just say yes. Yeah.
Well, I think we're being faced with all kinds of different scenarios. That can you hear me at the moment?
Yes. Can you hear me? What's that song?
I don't know.
Is that a song?
I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Mother, can you hear me?
I'm trying to say something.
Sorry, Joella. Please.
I think we're being faced with all sorts of unexpected scenarios at the moment, and it's a wonderful time to to create a different solution to something that's happening, because there's a desire, people know that it's necessary.
I love that. I love that it's a wonderful time, right? Sorry, John. I love that it's a wonderful time now to look at something you can do and you can benefit. John and I have had some really interesting conversations about all the things that we do and we put into practice, what we should do, what we should give away for free, and what we shouldn't do. And I think that this really does force, I mean, what's it? In the face of adversity, you either change or jump off the end of the cliff. And I think that we're in that point
Absolutely.
now. So sorry, John, I did drop in on you there.
No, I was just going to say there was a thing developed by the American military called VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, which I think is like, almost right now becomes a management trait, right? Can you navigate your way through those four? Maybe we should talk about that pick four. There's a lot to talk about on that, but I think that's where we are, right? And those who kind of get their head around those things, volatility, the uncertainty, etc., are going to be the people who do well.
You know what, Ali, thanks for coming on, mate, and jumping online and commenting live, because remember, we are live, chaps. This is exactly what we look like. Hang on. How's it go? And Ali, thanks for coming on. How do you plan for the unexpected? Well, it's simple. You have a certain set of tools which are unique to you. It's understanding what those set of tools are and fine tuning them to the best of your capacity. If the world is going to, The Walking Dead, if tomorrow a virus hits and the world turns into a bunch of zombies, then you are going to need a different set of skills than what you're going to need if we leave Brexit, if Brexit happens or happened. So, all you can do is fine tune those tools that you can do, and you can pick people like Joella, who's a executive coach, John, who's a growth specialist, me, I'm a life coach. There are lots of people that you can talk to that can extract the positives out of things that you do, help you fine tune them, and then pop you back into the marketplace or point you in the direction that you need to go. So planning for the unexpected is pretty much what business owners do every day. It's got to be the individual that's got to understand their career path and that's got to move it forward. What do you guys think?
Well, it's interesting. So if you look at the stats,
well, I would say,
if you look at the stats, middle of last year. Sorry, Joella.
This is great. Someone's got lag.
There's a delay. If you look at the stats last year, there was the biggest change in non-executive directors in terms of churn of NEDs for non-executive directors in this country than there has, than any time before. And what companies found was they had NEDs and not just NEDs, but there are directors and people in positions of influence and authority. Were very good when times were well and times were good. As soon as COVID came along and all the challenge, it's not COVID, it's what COVID does to your business. All those challenges, those people were found wanting, right? And it wasn't, it was their skills were short. It was the wrong kind of skills. That's why there's been a massive churn. So in terms of how do you plan for the unexpected? It's making sure you've got the right team, the right people, to your point, the right tools, and being able to adapt very, very quickly. And making the most of the opportunity, because it is an opportunity as well. Sorry, Joella.
Well, I was just going to say there's a really great, I don't know if you've heard of her, Ali, but Rita McGrath has written some wonderful books on innovation and how to go about it. And, there's a lot there about planning for the unexpected. So take a look at her book. It's something like How to Think Round Corners. Have you come across her? She's really very accessible and interesting.
What's interesting? I've read her book, a couple of her books. I think are very interesting. Is I've got a 16-year-old daughter, and I wanted her to write a book about in Mia's head, or I can't remember what it was going to call, something like In Mia's Head, and it was The World According to Mia, because she's a 16-year-old girl. And I can tell you now that she knows literally everything that is going to happen for the next 20 years. And she doesn't just think it. She actually legitimately believes that she knows. So I wanted to write a book. I said, you need to write a book about, what because it's just outstanding. But Joella, Ali has asked, "What's the book called, please?" So
yeah,
maybe
I've just seen that, and I'm just looking it up now because I can't remember, but I'll find it and tell you.
Sophie Mayers, yes, it has been a while. I hope you're well. It's lovely to see you. I'll tell you what's interesting recently over the last couple of weeks is visibility wise, just because we're pretty consistent the stuff that we do, I'd say. I mean, the last couple of weeks I haven't been because I've been unwell. But I think consistency wise of what we get out there, pretty much something every day, you get about 20 to 30,000 views a week. That has increased quite considerably. I put a post out for a new job, for new jobs that are available, and it got 10,000 views in 5 hours. All of a sudden people are starting to now realize that the fun time is over. It's coming to this furlough stuff. Well, it's not coming to an end anymore, but they need to consider what they need to do moving forwards. And I think when we look at visibility and branding, if we look at planning for a business, right, you look at your personal branding, the people that are in it, the company branding, what does the company look like, and then product branding. Those three things are going to sell your item, product, service, or whatever it is. If you don't have those three things sorted, then you are going to have a huge issue, because trust comes in that environment. If they like you but they don't like the company, they like the product, they don't like you, they're never going to buy from you. So that is very relevant when we're looking at it, not just from a business perspective, but from a perspective of a candidate, somebody that is looking to improve their career. And let's just put this in perspective. I work for a consultancy. I'm a consultant. I do resourcing for that consultancy, and I place people. I am a recruiter, if you like, but my job stretches a lot more than just going, there's just someone's CV, let's pop it onto there. So I think that people have really got to utilize people like Joe, people like John, people like me. Thanks, Ali. Mate, if you'd seen me a couple of weeks ago or a week or so ago, you wouldn't have seen me so excited. And I am excited about the prospects. But people like Joe, people like John, people like myself can help benefit you. There's a lady called Joella who is a rec to rec, who I just love to bits. I think she's absolutely fantastic. She's just realized what branding and marketing can do for her and her business. And all of a sudden, she doesn't know what to do with the business. There are people out there that can definitely help you and benefit you, but there are also people out there that are going to take your money off you and just tell you to put on a flash shirt. Like John's already told me that mine looks flash. He did actually send me a picture of Woody off of Toy Story, which I feel a little bit offended by. But well, you can't, Ali. Here we go.
Listen, I've got the details for this book.
Perfect. I told you if I had a coffee, I wouldn't stop talking.
Okay, it's called Seeing Around Corners: How to Spot Inflection Points in Business Before They Happen, and by Rita McGrath, and hardcover 1642. I actually think you get it on Kindle. Yeah, it's on Kindle as well. So there's
Manoj, mate. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for the comment. This is going back to the question that was asked by Ali. What can you do for plan for the unexpected? We said it would no longer be unexpected. One could do all sorts of scenario planning, pinpointing horizon, and so on and so forth. In our business, in fact, I know John's wife, Irina. She's a lawyer, fantastic compliance person, has been very experienced in this business in fintechs and banking. And one thing that was quite interesting was when I first met Irina, was she talked about horizon scanning and about looking forward to what potential issues that bank could have on a compliance or a risk framework issue. And it was the first time I ever really heard it, and this was quite a few years ago now. And I think that we all expected to figure out what's going to happen next, but this environment that we've been in with COVID has very, very much given us the perspective that we are not in control. I don't care who you are or what you are. You might be in control of your own little world, but your own little world is controlled by whether the government say you can and can't do it, right?
No, but control the controllables, as many people have said, right? You talk about personal branding. You can control your branding to a degree, right? How you show up for an interview, how you type, your CV, what you say on, when you write blogs and articles. You can control all that. The company can control its branding. They can.
Should you wait for Joella to finish his typing?
She's typing the name of the book.
Am I making a noise?
Yeah, no, that's cool. We can just wait. Let's just wait here and wait for Joella to finish writing.
All right, I'm just putting Rita McGrath in. Okay.
So I was talking about controlling the controllable.
Spelled it wrong.
Yeah. There's no controlling Joella, let me tell you.
But
I'm doing my best. Rita McGrath.
Amazing.
Okay, done.
Let's put the chat overlay. Look, there we go. Look, there's the chat. Perfect.
Well, is it?
Cool.
I put it in our private chat. Are you going to get it on get it to Ali?
See, this is seamless. Look at this. Look, this is we've just been dragged through.
We're thinking.
Dragged through. Joella slapping the keyboard, and now we haven't got it anywhere. What chat did you send it to?
I put it private chat. Oh.
And why didn't you post it up afterwards on your LinkedIn page?
Yeah, we'll post it on the chat afterwards, Ali. So we'll get it on there. But I think that what's, you know, when we look at branding, it needs to be done right. Your personal brand, and that could be just how, you know, I am in my loft right now, which is my office space, and my gym, which is the back part of it, and I'm wearing a shirt, trousers. I've got my slippers on, but I am dressed, you know, relatively smart. Obviously, John and Joella didn't get the Joella's just gone. She's just like
she's having bandwidth problems, isn't she?
Way. This is amazing. You know, we were advising. So it's you. It's just not everybody. It's you.
And you've not had coffee for how many weeks?
I know. I'm just going to sit here and smile and wait.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not going to last long. But so branding. Do you want to talk about branding? You can control stuff, right? What you say, how you turn up, how you know, what you write, what you're seeing online. You know, social media. So many companies now will look at all your social media feeds. So, you know, to the future generations of potential employees, there's a lot of stuff on there you might not want to see. You might want to get rid of it, you know. So that's all about personal branding, right? And companies are the same. You know, companies have to be careful about the branding. Branding is, to your point earlier, people buy off people. Well, you know, people will want to find out what kind of person you are, and they'll want to find out the real values of a company. You know, we can all think of examples of executives in the last couple of years who are no longer executives of companies because of what they were doing, you know, that arguably doesn't impact the company, but it reflects
if you were a child entertainer from the 90s.
Only recently there was a UK chairman who resigned because, you know, he was on a Zoom call and somebody was complaining about Zoom fatigue, and it was an internal call, and he basically said, you know, just stop whinging and get on with it. And he had to resign because, you know, even in an internal call, he wasn't living up to the values the company believed in, and that had a potential impact on the brand. I won't say which company it was, but
I think everybody knows.
Can you imagine being a child entertainer from the 90s? You know, at some point you're waiting for someone to knock on your door, right? We don't know what the future is going to hold from us, and you know, I think that you know, I am not an attractive young lady, not all the time anyway. So for me to you know, to get my brand pushed into the marketplace, I have to be different to every other fat old bald person that's putting valued content out, because I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for long enough to know what I'm talking about, and I'm fairly confident in that. But there are people out there who have a very different visual perspective or visual than I do, who are getting 50 times more views than I am, purely based on you know, and I'm probably being a bit controversial here, based on how they look, but the value and the content that comes out of it is a lot less. So I think you need to be realistic in what you are going to be able to achieve by yourself. But to say that you just can't do it, I don't think is good enough. I think that you need to find somebody that you have value in. I listen to people from Grant Cardone to Tony Robbins, and then I listen to a whole world of different philosophers and very interesting people who've got their own take on life and are very stuck in or very set on that. And I put my own formula on top of that, or what works for me. What I can, we've had this conversation. We tried to do a video, John, didn't we? Where we tried to launch it and we tried to set the video with a this is what we're going to talk about. This is going to be 20 seconds. Let's go. And we couldn't do it because we don't structure these. These are just us talking from the knowledge and our understanding. You either like it or you don't. And you know, it is what it is. We're not trying to win a popularity contest.
But brand isn't all about pretty. Right, you know, brand is about real. Brand is about values. Brand is about, you know, the message and the messaging and the messenger. It's those three things. You know, there are some people who have a very, very strong, powerful brand that haven't gone out of their way to beautify themselves or to fake themselves or to make, you know, but the message cuts through. So when you think about personal branding, you haven't always got to be super squeaky clean. That might not be the brand you're going for. You got to decide what is the brand, what are the brand values that you're going for.
But I would argue, John, that it really starts. You know, I mean, one of the reasons that Ant comes across well is because Ant is just so very Ant. You know, and he just he's outrageously Ant. You know, and that is very powerful because it's about being real. And that's where it all starts. And if you can sort of capture the sort of energy of your own reality, then you can translate that into effective messaging. And I mean, even if you're sort of part of an organization, you're still, you know, if you're the founder or the person that's making the decisions, then, you know, it's still important to go right back to, look, this is who I am. This is what I can't help being. Mm-hmm. You know, how am I going to use that?
It wasn't long ago, and a few years, like 3 or 4 years, where I was doing videos. I started doing a lot of the video stuff, and I am an ex beach bum. You know, dude is something that I use a lot. Awesome, amazing. All of these sort of words are good references to what I'm actually thinking.
Yeah, we need to come up with an English Ant dictionary.
Yeah, well, and I posted a video and I said, "Oh man, it's awesome." And somebody messaged my wife and said, a business person, she said, "Well, you got to start Anthony using the word awesome and dude and stuff like that because it's very unprofessional." And I looked at that and I thought, you know what, that's actually me. If I was to sit on here and I was to be really boring and sat here doing it, one, we wouldn't have this show. And two, where's the fun in that? Like, where would me having to tone down me being probably a little bit excitable? Can you imagine being the people that work for me at Lysis, with me at Lysis?
Yeah, ghastly.
Yeah. And Christ, it's taken a year. You know, when I joined, I must have been an absolute nightmare to deal with, and I can be honest when I say that.
I think you're the Michael Caine of recruiting.
I'm trying to understand why you said must have been and used it in the past tense, but carry on.
Yeah. But you know, can you imagine these bankers and me all of a sudden going, "Well, I don't think that's correct. I think you know."
Look. Can I just interrupt for a moment? Just to say that the message disappeared to Ali about the book. So I've sent it to you, Ali, on LinkedIn. Okay, so you'll have to connect with me now. So
Perfect.
just to
love that subject change. You're like my wife. My wife, if she's bored of the conversation, so we could be talking about what trees we're going to have in the front garden, and all of a sudden she'll just go, "Yeah, what if I need to get my tires changed on my car soon?" She just like, you know what? I'm bored with that. And on that bombshell, guys, we're 25 minutes into this. This is Coffee with Ant, John, Joella. John from Mission 23. Joella has her own executive coaching business, which is called
what's it called? It was Transitions.
It was Transitions until about 5 seconds ago when that business just exploded. And I am obviously from Lysis, and we have various other things that we do together, guys. So have a wonderful Friday. To be honest, it's been an absolute pleasure today, guys. I know we normally do 15 minutes. We're 25 minutes in. It's been lovely to see you guys, you beautiful people. Really got a lot of time for you guys. Got a lot of time for the stuff that we do moving forwards. We're back, John and I, on Monday morning with the Daily Bake, and then on Tuesday we've got Cast, and then next Friday is Ant, John, and Joella at 10:30 on Friday, the whatever of March. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.